Greetings guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Recently I made a video where I went through my For You page on TikTok on my work phone on a burner account where, you know, my entire For You page is just filled with conservative garbage. And I thought that it would be fun to do a similar one, but over on Instagram Reels. But the funny thing about my Instagram Reels on my burner account is for some reason, somehow they have ended up being just entirely Christian. They're all just like Christian worship reels. And I honestly don't really know how that happened because I use this for other content as well. But this is where we've ended up. So for today, I thought it would be fun to jump on Instagram and look at some of these Christian reels that have ended up on my feed. I did ask on Patreon if people were interested in this and everyone said yes. So, you know, here we are, having a go at it. And I feel like it's kind of on theme. I've been making kind of a lot of videos about this recently because it's just been coming up a lot and it's just something I'm very curious about. So, you know, maybe we'll learn something. I have a lot of questions. Let's see if anything gets answered. But before we get started, I want to address a question you might all be asking, which is, Kiwi, is that a new chair? It looks so comfy. And to answer your question, yes, it is a new chair and it is incredibly comfortable. It is the Sheer chair by FlexiSpot, who also happen to be today's sponsor. And let me tell you a little bit about them because this chair, genuinely, it is so comfortable. I have terrible posture. I am always slouching. My back literally hurts all the time. And then I got this chair and I sat in it and I was like, oh, is this what sitting is meant to feel like? And it is incredibly comfortable. It's also very adjustable. Like the armrests go in and out. It goes up and down. You can lean it back more. You can sit forwards. It is so tailorable to you and to the height of your desk as well. On the topic of adjustable heights, this is E7 standing desk, which, as you can see, is very adjustable for your desired height. So you can have it, you know, as a nice standing desk to get your legs a good stretch, because we all know that as comfortable as the Sheer chair is, it is nice to stand up and get some blood pumping to the rest of your body. And so you can use this to do your work. I laid out in front of me have all of my craft stuff. I've got all my bracelet making stuff. So I come out here and I make my bracelets for my patrons. And it's just a nice little break from the corner that I sit in for the rest of the day. And because of how adjustable it is in its height, you can also use it for like eating, for like a dining room table. If you don't have one of those, but you have people coming over, you can crack it out. Now you have a table for everyone to sit at. And I think like really nice to be able to stand and also to sit when you get tired of standing, and then to stand and get tired of sitting. But I will throw it back over to myself again to talk to you a little bit about how you can get your hands on one of these beautiful, beautiful desks. FlexiSpot is currently holding a massive Black Friday sale where everything is up to 80% off with a chance to get something 100% off. And if you have a limited budget, please do not fret. They have a very wide range of things that are suitable to fit most budgets. And if you use the link in my description and my code, you will also get $30 off. So please do get in there quickly. And if you do find yourself purchasing something at checkout, leave my name, The Queer Kiwi, in the notes, and I appreciate that greatly. So thank you so much, FlexiSpot, for sponsoring this video. I hope that you are all able to find a new desk chair and a new desk that you love. Okay, let's get into it. First up, this is what I opened Instagram Reels to. And honestly, I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with this. This is the kind of energy we should be bringing to the function. I know that we're changing the lyrics to a kid's song to being about like letting Jesus in, but you know, it's not hurting anybody. These are all adults singing Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes and like completely vibing and jamming out to it. And that is the energy I bring to the function. I am that person who, if I'm like going out anywhere, if I'm at a club, I don't go clubbing, but if I ever were to find myself at a club or a party or something, I'm the person, I'm doing the chicken dance. I'm doing the Macarena. I will head, shoulders, knees and toes. That's exactly the type of energy that I have and that I desire. We all need a room full of people to be jamming out to head, shoulders, knees and toes with. So, you know, I'm giving this one a gold star. This was fun. I enjoyed this one. Just wanted to start off on a good note, right? It wanted to ease me into my reels today. And I wanted to give you something fun to start off with as well, because we know they're going to get a little bit unhinged.
Just saw a video that said, don't complain that life isn't fair, because if it was, you'd be on the cross.
When I first saw this, I've got to admit to you, I sat in such confusion for a really long time, and I had to send it to Kat and get her to explain to me, like, can you tell me what the fuck this means? Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you how I internalized it, right? That's what we're here to do. Obviously I didn't grow up a Christian. I didn't grow up around Christianity at all. Like, the first time I really interacted with people who were actively vocally spoke about religion was when I was in uni. Like, I am so distanced from it. And so, like, my brain doesn't get there, right? And so when I listen to this, what I hear, if life was fair, I'd be on the cross. I internalize that in the sense of, like, that means you think that it was fair that Jesus ended up on the cross. Like, that was valid? That was a fair thing that happened? You're like, well, Jesus was good, so Jesus was good and he ended up on the cross, and since I'm good, that means that if life was fair, I would be on the cross. But that's just validating that it was fair that he ended up on the cross. Like, when I sent this to Kat, she came back to me with being like, she's saying that, you know, she's so devout, like Jesus followers, and they ended up on the cross, so she thinks that if life was fair because of how devout she is, she would be on the cross. And like, I understand that, like, I do get that, but I feel like it's missing the whole layer of, like, what you're saying here is that you think that it's fair that Jesus was crucified. And I didn't think we fucked with that. I don't think that was very fair. I don't think we should be crucifying people. I don't think that that was a good thing and that was fair. But also, I suppose in that same breath, if that never happened, then Jesus would have never died for their sins, which means that they would have to actually not ever sin. Or I guess maybe Christianity wouldn't exist, so they wouldn't be in that. I guess if Jesus was never crucified, their whole religion wouldn't exist. So I suppose in a way, they are pro the fact that that happened, because it is the foundation of their entire lives. Okay, I kind of answered my own question there a little bit, I think. However, I still think that if they love Jesus so much, they probably shouldn't be saying that it was fair that he got crucified, because I don't think it was. I also do love putting yourself on the same level as that, being like, I am like Jesus, so I would be crucified. We've also come a long way since then. We're not just crucifying people. We're not just going and putting people on the cross. That's not something that's happening. Execution, especially through such a slow way, it's not something done lightly. It's not something that even takes place in a lot of places. I feel like you're leaving out a lot of key information in this. If life was fair, I would be executed for having beliefs. No? What? I don't think that's how this works. I don't think that's quite true. I don't think that's a fair life. Why? This isn't the year zero, right? Like, we're not doing that anymore. I don't understand. I don't get it. But okay, carry on. Sure, why not?
Why do Christians get married so quick? Because they ain't screwing each other. They're not screwing each other. I know that might sound funny.
Listen, okay, we're starting off. Sorry, this is long, so I'm gonna hit pause for a second. I love this self-awareness there. People ask why Christians get married so quickly. It's because they aren't screwing each other. And I know that sounds kind of crazy. It doesn't. We all know that's why. That you're not sharing a secret right now. You are sharing very commonly accepted knowledge. You get married quickly so you can have sex. That's why. But the thing is that we don't think that's good. That's not good. You shouldn't marry someone because you want to have sex with them. That's a bad reason to marry someone. That's why we are anti-saving sex till marriage, right? Like, I get, like, it's like, do what you want, free choice. I'm not gonna like tell you you're insane for saving sex till marriage. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Go off. But I personally think it's a bad idea unless you're like asexual, aspec, or whatever. Like, that's a separate thing. If you are someone who has a desire to have sex, saving it till marriage is a bad idea because it just means the entire, like, if your entire reason for getting married is having sex, how is that a good thing? I don't understand how you're standing here talking about this like it's some crazy, beautiful, wonderful thing. No, it means that you're rushing into a marriage before getting to properly know each other because you're horny. If you have sex, then that's not a motivator to getting married, right? That's out of the question. Now, what you have to do is get to know them. Know them and love them, and that's what drives you to marry them. I personally think wanting to marry someone because I already know them intimately and I love them despite their flaws that I already know about, that is so much more meaningful than marrying someone whom I've known for 6 months because I want to have sex with them. I don't know why you think that's a better option. Like, that is so much less romantic.
And for those of you that don't know, I got engaged after 6 months, and a lot of people say, why do Christians get married so quick? But think about this for a second. In a worldly relationship, before you were married, when you were boyfriend and girlfriend, when you were dating, you lived together, you sleep together, you get a place together, all of this stuff. And then marriage just becomes a legal contract. And honestly, it takes a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of money to plan a wedding. So a lot of people say, you know what, let's push it off. We'll do this one day, but it's just a legal document. We're pretty much already married. So you'll get couples that go 7, 8, 9 years that are playing married and they end up breaking up.
Okay, so as I said, I think it's good to know the person and love the person before you get married, because it means you're getting married because you actually want to marry them for them. And I love being like, they just play at marriage and then they break up after 8 years, as opposed to getting married and getting a divorce after 8 years. Like, it's gonna be the same ending. Divorce exists. Like, you can still break up if you're married, right? And if you're against divorce, and as Christians, you can't get a divorce, then maybe you shouldn't have gotten married, because then you don't have to get a divorce. You can just break up. You're making points against yourself here. And I don't think you realize that you are doing that.
And from a Christian perspective, the dating season is supposed to be a short season. Dating wasn't even a thing in the Bible. So you meet the person you're dating to marry, and you got to think, do I want to commit to this person? Do I want to marry this person? Do I want to be committed to them for the rest of my life? And if the answer is no, you break up with them.
Implying you can figure that out within 6 months is wild. That is why people wait. I love being like, see, dating is meant to be, you're meant to meet someone, and then the day that you meet them, you decide if you want to be with them forever. I don't know you. You are a stranger. How am I going to decide if I want to spend my whole life with you? I can't do that. There's not a chance I'm deciding that. I need to know you intimately to know if I want to spend the rest of my life with you. That's not something you can decide in a snap moment. This is why so many Christians are in unhappy marriages, or like marriages that are pretending to be happy that they are. I'm moving on from him because he talks for like another 2 minutes. But my God, my guy, at least there's self-awareness. His points are just the opposite of what he thinks they are. This man, there's this guy who his entire account is he just sits in his car and he yells at you about Jesus.
Today's daily message from Jesus is, you can't do it yourself. Why do you keep trying? You keep trying again and again and again. You can't do it yourself. Why can't I stop sinning? Why can't I stop doing that one sin? Because you're trying to stop. Focus on Jesus and he will cut it out.
It's very aggressive. I am just obsessed with him laughing, being like, lol, you can't do anything yourself. Obviously, you can't do anything by yourself. Jesus has to do everything for you. Nothing you do is ever yours. You can't take credit for anything, because everything you have ever done is because of Jesus. Hey, maybe credit people's hard work. Maybe people do try and like do get success without having to like rely on Jesus. I don't know. I feel like you can believe in Jesus and have him being your support person without taking away people's credit for the hard work that they do. No? Like, surely you can love Jesus and also achieve things on your own, right? I don't know. And also, I'm sorry, you keep trying to stop sinning, but it's not working because you're trying to stop instead of just letting Jesus stop you. I don't know how effective that would be. Like, you go to an alcoholic who's like trying to stop drinking, and you're like, stop trying to stop. Jesus will stop you if you ask him to. You don't have to put in any work. If you are feeling the urge and desire to drink alcohol, then like do that, because like Jesus will stop it. If you ask him to, if you say to Jesus, I don't want to drink alcohol anymore, I want to get over my alcoholism, he will make it so you don't desire it anymore. You don't have to fight against it because Jesus will fix it for you. Don't even have to try. If you're talking to Jesus, the urge will go. I think that that's dangerous. I think that that is a dangerous ideology to be sharing. I don't think you should just be saying that, like, Jesus will fix it if it's meant to be fixed. That's gonna hurt people.
For the love of Yeshua. Yeah. Stop asking how to make more money. How can I make more money? How do I get rich? No. Start asking, how can I serve? What kind of passions, talents, abilities, interests do I have within my being already? It's already there. You don't have to be like, what's my thing? It's here. Express gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful now that I know exactly what my thing is. I'm so happy and grateful now that I know exactly how to serve the rest of consciousness and divine love. It's all about love. Make it about the mission. Make it about love and service, not money. You need money. God will break you out of the financial matrix. I promise. Like, it's oh my God. I need to run.
So we've ended up in a similar place to where we ended up in the last one. No, don't tell people that. Oh my God. These people are just setting people up to fucking suffer. I swear. Like, saying to someone in a financial crisis, if you stop trying to get a job, if you stop trying to earn money and instead focus on Jesus, you will be rich. He will give you money. Don't think that's how it works. These people are all like well off, right? You can tell that they've never financially struggled a day in their lives by the fact they're like, what are you talking about money for? Why are you stressed about money? God will fix the problem. You will have money because God will bring it to you. Like, that's just a really terrible, terrible thing to be telling people. If God helps guide you, that's fine. Okay? If he brings you comfort, that's fine. Please do not like rely financially on spreading the gospel, because that doesn't actually pay the bills. And this is an incredibly dangerous thing to be telling people. Like, you are going to ruin people's lives if you are telling them this. This is not sustainable. This is not how it works. It might work for a couple of people, like once in a blue moon. It is not working for the majority. And the funniest, richest part of this is that these like Christians who say God will fix everything are also the same people who like advocate against like food stamps and like vote for politicians who are like against feeding the poor. Taking away opportunities for like poor people to get money and then being like, okay, but if you really do want money, then like just follow Jesus. People don't have the time because they're having to work their asses off to just like pay for rent, and you're telling them stop working, start doing the Lord's work. I'm gonna have to throttle these people. Like people are vulnerable, right? Like the people say shit like this, it will actively actually hurt vulnerable people. And that makes me really upset. I'm really frustrated. And like these people, it's so selfish, right? Like, I know that you might actually believe this, but I need you to like think about things before you say this. Like just think about the logistics of what you just said and the situations that people are in and what you are saying here, because absolutely not. This says, I'll come to church when I see someone walk on water. And it's these people like jumping and dancing up along, someone like threw water on the path and they're all like dancing up it, being like, we're walking on water. And I find whoa, walking on. Sorry. I find this so funny in the sense that wasn't one of the things Jesus could do walk on water? Wasn't that like one of the like incredible things that he could do, like the miracle thing of like, whoa, this man is the Son of God? Like that was, I don't know much, as I've said, but I do know that everyone says he could walk on water, and that was like one of the miracle things, right? So that's just really funny to think about in the context of these people, because now it's making the idea seem a little bit less impressive. Like I would have thought that these people thought walking on water was like a sacred thing. Like you can't make fun of that or turn it into a joke. I'm all for people joking about stuff, obviously, but I just think it's really funny. I just love these people encouraging people to go to church by like downplaying Jesus' miracles. Like, it's just like them being like, they bluffed. This is what walking on water actually means. And that's just really funny to me. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm kind of here for the energy. It's just really funny.
Jackie, what happened? You used to be so fun. I was going to hell! Thank you, Jesus, for saving me! Church is fun!
I've said this once, I've said this twice, I said this 1,000 times, and I will continue to keep saying it. Why is this your motivator to be Christian? Like every time people talk about Christianity and their faith, like half the time this is literally it. It's like, because otherwise I'll go to hell. That's not a good reason to have your faith. If the only reason you believe in something is specifically to not go to hell, like, no. I like want to join you less now because you are saying that you are doing this just to protect yourself and not for any other reason. And I just think that that makes it pointless. That just makes the whole thing incredibly pointless. So you are doing a terrible job of selling me. If the only reason you have become Christian is out of fear and the desire to not go to hell, I don't believe you actually care and actively like believe in what you're saying, because you're doing it to save your ass and not for like any other reason. Yeah. This is someone who came up on my feed a few times. She is another one of the like ex-queer Jesus saved me from my queerness people, and I was gonna like talk a little bit about her like as a whole video, but all of her videos are like 5 minutes long and I just did not want to sit there and watch all of them, considering I only recently made a video about a similar person. But I will include this one because
but I was born this way. I can't change that about me. Be born again. That's a lie from the devil. Okay, God didn't make a mistake when he made you. He made you beautifully. He has a beautiful plan for you, but you have to allow Jesus to come in and transform your life so you can see that blessing in fruition. God bless.
I just don't understand how they get here. How you go from being like very openly, like proudly queer into this. I think I can understand it only when there is a very traumatic event that happens and like you like have to like change your entire worldview in order to cope. And maybe that is what happened here. I like still don't think it's okay to be switching all the way to like changing yourself and encouraging other people to change in such a way, but I at least empathize when that's what it is, right? Like if you feel like you need to change entirely who you are because of something that has happened, I get it. But I think that you need actual help in a different way. Going like switching into a position where you are like actively hurting yourself in a different way, it's not actually healing or helping, and I think that you need to get help in a different way. On this at least kind of answered one of the questions I've been asking, right? Because it's like, God made you the way you are, so like, you know, if God made you gay, then why shouldn't you just like accept and love the fact that you're gay? So did she imply that God didn't make you gay, but then the devil made you gay, and so if you then turn to God, he will take away the devil's curse of being gay? That's kind of what I took away. Is that what she said? Am I internalizing that correctly? Is that something that people believe, or is that something that she told herself? I feel like there's so many different sects of Christianity and so many different versions like of the Bible that it's hard to have a definite answer, because everyone says something a little bit different because it's evolved and adapted and everyone believes different things. But at the very least, that does answer, if that is what she said, that does answer some questions I've been asking about, you know, if God made you this way, he made it as a test, like why is he constantly testing you, yada yada. But if he didn't make you that way and the devil did, at least then I get why you're like, God will fix it. Being gay is a sin because the devil created it. But in the same breath as that, I don't think that it cures God of sin in that sense, right? Like, why is being gay something that the devil created? Like, why are we viewing that as demonic? Why does God view that as demonic, right? I feel like we still have a problem, and I'm now questioning God, right? In the sense of like, his morals are real fucked up. Why is that something he cares about so much? Why is that something that like the devil is like, you know what would really piss God off? If I made people gay, then he'd be real mad. Then God is homophobic. And I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that. Why does God care? Why does that matter? Like, if that's what it takes to make God angry, if that's all the devil is doing, the devil, he's not a bad guy, right? He's just making people gay. So. And once again, circle back around to my favorite books. This is a Christian girl with two of her atheist friends having a conversation in the car.
If I didn't ever speak to you about my faith though, like what would you think of that?
You give it a second thought.
Yeah, no, I'd probably
Do you not find that weird though? Because the way I see it is so life and death. I believe that when I die, you're going to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't tell
What
you...
determines that? Like, how many bad things can you do before it's like, right, you're off down there then?
Whether you have a relationship with Jesus or not, whether
That's
you've
it,
accepted
wrong.
Jesus.
What, so a murderer can go into heaven, but someone
So
who
if-
doesn't believe in
Yeah,
God?
yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I
surely not.
completely disagree.
I know that it feels unbelievable. That's why the message of the Bible is so strong that we believe in grace, that any sin, because we call that sin, anything, it doesn't matter what you've done, if you've lied, it all separates us from how perfect God is. And then God has given us the gift of grace by dying on the cross. All we have to do is just give it to him, ask him to forgive us, give our lives to him. So it's nothing we can do that brings us to heaven. It's all through
That's
Jesus.
mental though.
Girl in the middle is me. Her face and things the entire way through. Yeah. Same, girl. Same. Absolutely. This is the face of someone who is going home and blocking her friend, or the next time her friend asks, do you want to hang out? She's like, I'm kind of busy, actually. No, I'm chill. Like, straight up, her friend just said to her face, a murderer deserves to go to heaven, but you don't. If someone said that to me, I'd be pretty pissed. Telling me that, like, a murderer, a, like, rapist, a, like, every person who has committed an atrocious crime deserves to go to heaven, but not me. I deserve to go to hell specifically because I don't believe in God. But anyone who believes in God but has committed an atrocious crime, that they can go to heaven. I don't understand how she said this with that look on her face being like, and God is so good. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this wonderful? You have not done what you think you just did. What you have done here is made people disrespect God even more. All like these people, like when you say this, all my brain goes is like, holy shit, God's a fucking monster. He has an ego the size of the fucking sun because nothing matters. He cares about nothing. The only thing that matters is how much you adore and worship him. Like, it's just feeding his ego. It's, if you feed my ego, you get to come to heaven. If you don't feed my ego, then you're gonna burn for eternity. And like in this conversation and having it in this way, being like, well, yeah, because, you know, it separates us and like all God cares about is if you believe in him, and otherwise, like, you, my friends, not believers, you're going to hell. Like, the only way this would turn them into Christians is if they did it purely out of fear. And that just continues to emphasize the fact that so many Christians are only Christians out of fear. That is not a very good worship system. That's not a very good way to live your life. If your entire life is motivated by fear, that's gotta be fucking exhausting, bro. And like, convincing people to join you using fear as a tactic is not a good tactic. That is not a good thing to be instilling in people. I feel like you should live your life with love, right? Compassion and love. I cannot imagine living my whole life just like in fear. Like, I mean, I have anxiety, but like, that's a different thing. But the amount of people who just describe God as just an abuser is wild to me. Like, the way they define how they worship him and their relationship with him is like, literally, they're just like, He is abusing me, but I love him. You're not going about this in the right way if you're trying to get people to love God. You are in fact doing the opposite. Every time I watch these, I like God less and less, and I already wasn't a fan.
You can't say that. The Bible says to love your neighbor.
Yeah, well, the Bible also says if you don't work, you shouldn't eat. You look like you've been eating mighty well for someone in the unemployment line.
This is funny to me for a few reasons. One, I just am kind of obsessed with how this ties into that other woman being like, you don't have to work and try to get money because God will give you money. And then this guy's like, you have to work and get money or God thinks you should starve. So like, which one? Where are we at? Or does this just like depend on who you're trying to convince and who you're having a conversation with? And secondly, this doesn't really work because half the time when people are saying to you, the Bible says, God says to love your neighbor, they're not Christian themselves. So like you quoting the Bible back at them doesn't impact them. They're quoting the Bible at you because that is what you believe, right? If you're gonna stand around and be like homophobic and like spread bigotry, then like a queer person whom you are targeting who does not believe in God says to you, aren't you meant to love your neighbor? Does the Bible not tell you you're meant to be kind? You then saying, yeah, well, you're unemployed. That doesn't matter to them because they don't give a shit. They don't care about the Bible. They're using it towards you because you care about the Bible. Throwing it back doesn't work. Doesn't impact them. The fact that it doesn't impact you, like the fact that you have Bible verses ready to go to be like, I don't have to listen to the Bible because you're not listening to the Bible. So then what's the point? Why are we even here? If nothing fucking matters, and everyone can throw Bible verses at each other to justify their own actions, then like, why do we even have it? What's even the point? If you're just cherry picking it and using it where you want to and using other points to argue other points, like, what are we doing? I'm not part of this. What are you doing? Like, you can't use it to justify some actions and then like negate other actions, just using all willy-nilly. Because if you're using it to justify some actions, then you can't use it, ignore it at other points and vice versa. Like it's either all or nothing. I'm sorry.
Some of y'all keep saying the universe provides. The universe didn't die for your sins, sweetheart. Jesus did.
I had to share this. Like this one, this is her entire account. She has this whole account that's just dedicated to her saying stuff like this and ending with the exact same like meme glosses and music. And I just think it's really, really funny. I do feel a little bit called out though, in the sense of like, I am someone who talks about like the universe. And sometimes I realize I talk about the universe in the same way that other people talk about God. I'm like, the universe didn't want it to happen. The universe will give me a sign. The universe will help me. The universe is working against me. Like I am that person who does say the universe. And I sometimes I'm like, oh, people say this about God. Like this, and in which case, like those are the people that I understand, right? Like they're the people who use religion in a way that I get, I understand. Like believed the universe was not just something I could, put subconscious thought into, like, and I believed it was something that actually like supported me and was there for me, then like that would be great, right? Like that feels incredibly comforting and lovely. And if you are able to, have that relationship with God in the same way I have a relationship with the universe, fucking go for it. I understand. I get it. I can absolutely see how that would be a comfort to have. I say that the universe has a plan and whatever, and like, no, it didn't die for my sins, but I also don't have that kind of personal relationship with it. My relationship with the universe is exactly what I want it to be. My relationship with being like, the universe sent me a sign is that like subconsciously have a thought, and I then notice things that like affirm that thought, and I'm like, oh, the universe is sending me a sign. I know it's actually just my brain. It's like I feel like it's a different thing. I don't have that sort of personal relationship with the universe like people do with God. I don't think anything happened for me to get to this point with the universe. It's a whole separate thing. But you know what? Go off, Granny. Sure. This has been my video. It was definitely not my greatest work, but I had fun, and I hope that you had fun as well. If you did, please do not forget to hit subscribe. I am trying to hit 500k by the end of the year, and I am still quite a ways off, so it really does help me out. I appreciate it. A huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Polar Bee, Sienna, Alicia, Marielle, Bree, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic Petey, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, Jessie, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Alexis, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes, you replay